Hello Chipsters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. I think this is number 3 on the update for Military Modeler Paul's Remembrance Day group build. It's a yeomanry figure from the First World War, or the Great War as I call it, and it's mainly known back then as. It's from the Sinai, Palestine area. They've put it as a specific battle. And it actually hasn't got it on the front. And can I find anything? Oh, here we go. Let's just, without my glasses on, I probably won't be able to read it. During the Third Battle of Gaza, so Palestine, it depicts the Arab village of Huj, where the Ottoman army, consisting of mainly Turkish troops but with some Austrian and German support. So that's where it's roughly supposed to be from. Really enjoyed it. It was a bit fraught last night because I actually mounted the figure. So I keep looking down. I mounted the figure, and because he stood up in the stirrups, because he's obviously not in a seated position, he stood up lunging with a sword, or whatever the technical term is. That was really difficult to get in a position, not so much just the realistic, because there's only a couple of, you can only move the figure a very slight distance, left, right, up, down. It was just a fact to get it to that you needed to have a dab of super glue in there somewhere, and I thought, here we go, glue everywhere. Spent so long doing this, and now we're going to have glue everywhere, and I must have dry fitted it. I don't even think 20 times is a exaggeration. It has been. That's probably the one thing. If you're going to do it yourself, I tried it with the Lee Enfield in its carrying case. Words left me for the moment. Call it carrying case for now, but it's in its saddle case, whatever you call it. It has to go in a specific position. It's got a little tab, obviously, to fit into the side of the saddle blanket, and then it has where it would be in reality attached to the girth strap, I think. So it's got to go on, and I'm calling it problematical only because of how I wanted it to fit. And I did glue it on eventually. I wasn't happy how the rider was up mounted, where he was positioned, so I took that off again. Dry fit it a couple more times, but of course you got glue, and you're thinking, oh please don't get glue, especially super glue. You know what it's like. I managed to get one piece on the horse. I think I managed to. At the time I wiped it, I didn't want to put I was scared of putting the what's it called? The stuff that gets super glue off anyway. Very handy stuff to have, but I was worried it was going to take all my paint off as well, and then I'd have to sand the paint, because it was the only way of, obviously you can't, if you've put a big hole in your paint, you can't just put fresh paint down, because there's already layers. Even acrylic paint, you'll be surprised what a layer it'll leave behind, so you normally have to try and sand it down like doing a car body. So in the end, I would go for actually stick the Lee Enfield on, because it's a right game to get it on afterwards, and you're scraping glue across. Even though if you've glued the girth itself, you're still playing with fire. But it wasn't as messy as I thought. Now either the rider is just jammed in, or the tiny bit of gluing points I put on are holding him in. I'm too scared to touch it too hard in case it comes off, because I don't want to go through the nightmare putting it on again. So there were 2 points on doing this build, and I'm still got to get to the second point yet, as in start on it. The first point is, as I say, getting that rider, because you can dry fit him a million times over before you've even painted him, whatever, but it's obviously as soon as you put him back in, you're more or less going to lose that position. So it is just, you've got to go real careful. Make sure you wear some gloves, some rubber gloves, so your finger oils aren't taking your paint away, because this I probably won't be I don't normally varnish my display figures, so it probably won't be getting a varnish unless I really think it needs to have one. And the other thing I'm now really really trembling at is the reins. They're going to be a nightmare. I just know they are. I've got to put the reins, and I've got to put, I'll show you in a minute, some pegging out rope that you peg the horse out on. So, guys, join me at the bench. I'll adjust these lights, and we'll have a look at the figure. Right, guys, thanks for joining me at the bench. Let's just see if we turn that one off. Will it do that much difference? No. I'll just try this back one. No, doesn't really make much difference. Let's put this one on. No, I'll leave that one off for the moment. Right, so we've got our figure mounted. I have put some photographs on at the end. Let's find a pointy stick of some description. So this has got to be where I'm attaching my reins. They're either going to be like Tamiya tape, as it suggests in the instructions, or I might use some pie foil. We shall see. But I've tried to, it's sculpted for movement, so let's go this way first. So you can see I've not long added his neck curtain, obviously to protect his neck from the sun. He's got his Wolseley helmet on. It's not a helmet, but you know, sun helmet, whatever you want to call it. The respirator stroke gas mask is streaming behind him, just to show, it's a great way how they've suggested movement. A tiny bit of white there, hang on, let's just keep him under the light and going, it would be easier. A tiny bit of white there is I've just had to, there was a small gap, I've just put some plastic card in, so once the glue's gone off I've got to sort all that out. His 18-inch bayonet. His actual peg for the horse. I've got the feed bags, I've got them like flying up rather than hanging down. I'm not sure if actually in the artwork if the guy, let's just put his on there, not that you have to follow anybody slavishly anyway. Yeah, his are down. I just thought, well, if he's bouncing around, let's show a bit more movement, so I've put them actually bouncing up in the air. I've tried to keep them two different colours just to show different, you know, probably they'd be Hessian, but just to show different, they've come from different, you know, different strips of Hessian or whatever they've made them up with, I don't know, but different colours. He's got his knife, he's got his cutlery shoved down his puttees. I thought was a nice touch. It's good to see the old racing spoon. We used to use those in the army. We called them racing spoons. We used to have one in our jackets because you're always racing to get the food down here before they were putting you onto something else. Let's go back a bit. What I've done with his goggles is go for showing the background, so you're looking through the lenses. So I've painted the background the same as the helmet, but put some white dots in to show some reflections. What else have we got? Oh, the sabre. I didn't realise it until doing this and was researching a bit. Quite often the handguards were painted like a khaki colour just to stop the light reflections. Now the original box artist has left his scabbard shiny metal. When I've seen reenactors and some period photographs, I've also seen them painted the same colour as a scabbard, which would make sense because it's still obviously got to reflect light. So I put a couple of chips in there, but kept the scabbard painted. I've got to attach this water canteen, which I'm going to have to use Tamiya tape on again. And now that's going to be interesting. I'm going to really have to have that. I want to show movement with that one as well. From where I can see, you mount it this side, So I'm going to have it somewhere up around here, so I can have the Tamiya tape fairly loose, because I don't want to obviously be trying to stick it down on a painted body now and it'll just turn into a mess. I didn't realise, I thought this was going to be, you know, attached somewhere, but it's not. So I'm going to have it something like that, flying out, hopefully. Yeah, that's going to be fun. The artist gave him brown boots. I've mainly seen black, so I've gone with black. I may well be dusting this up like the footlock. Is it footlocks? I don't know. Down here anyway. Might be dusting these up yet and doing some dust on here. It's just until I get a base sorted, I'm not sure where I'm going to go with it. So the next time you see this, I mean, there are, hopefully the photographs will show. The problem is with these lights, I will be, the very final reveal, I'll put some obviously photographs in. I'll try my light box, proper light box, and it'll just about, I've only got one of the mini light boxes, but I think that'll fit in. Now, as I said, I should have got it out earlier on, but I have got a mahogany base, and for the mounted figure alone, it will actually fit in. But this comes as a vignette. I think this is the one I'm looking for. And I didn't know it came as a vignette. As I said before, I bought these figures separately at the same time at Telford Scale Model World last year. Not last year, the year before. We obviously couldn't do anything last year. So this is a Turkish infantry soldier from 1917. I have already done an unboxing on it. So go into my reviews and unboxings and you'll find it somewhere in amongst that lot. And he's obviously reacting to this guy. He's got his Mauser pointing up with the bayonet on and everything. Now, I might well, even if it doesn't fit on the base, I might well order another base just and still have both figures, as I think it would probably warrant that, really. I think it would go quite well. So yeah, that's it so far. The next time you'll see it, hopefully it'll be what you could call in its completed form, in the sense of I might not have it on the base as such, or I might do, depending. But at next one we've got to do the very scary bit of making some reins up to go up into this hand. We've got the rope again. Let me just see. I'm really well prepared as always. They give you this bit of rope which they're expecting you to knot. Now, although was a tree surgeon, tree climber, whatever you call it, tree worker for 20 odd years, so obviously tie knots all the time. Do you think I can probably remember how to tie this particular knot now? Probably not. I'm not 100% sure whether I'll use this or use some copper wire rounded up, but even then still has to have a knot in it, so we'll see. That's another scary bit. That goes round, see, that goes around the neck here, up there and around. So, and they mostly always have them in the vintage photographs I've seen. They always have them, so it's not something you can leave out. So that doing this type of thing is always a bit fraught, and they're the things I really wasn't looking forward to. I'm going to probably put a very slight highlight on the butt of the Lee Enfield as well. Most of them tended to be dark by the look of it, but I just need a very slightly lighter, just to pull it away very slightly from the darkness of the thing, we'll call it. That's gone out my head. But yeah, here we go. Really enjoyable. I decided to keep pushing on with this one. I have been doing the Tiger Tank base in the background, but I wanted to get this. I'm so often at the moment outside of the painting the war game figures, I'm not getting things completed, and I just was, wanting to get this. It's been such a nice thing to work on. I just wanted to see it through to the end. So there'll be some touch-up work to do on it, bits where I've maybe overspilled paint. You always find them, usually when you're doing a video. But there'll be some touch-up bits to do in it, no doubt, and clean up. But I'll probably leave that till it's actually on its proper base, because I've still got to get this. I've got to put some of the glue buster around the base here. It is on its metal spike, because there's a metal pole. If you've been watching my videos, it goes up the leg, because it's the only attachment piece on the entire thing. So, but yeah, I'm hoping that I can get that on that base, on the mahogany base. It's not a wide one. It's a bit like this really, but longer. And I'm hoping to get that other figure on. You never know. So thanks for joining me, guys, on this update. I hope everything's going well with you. It's what's coming up next. Probably do I should be having those Napoleonic British based for you and up for a video probably towards the end of the week. The Tiger Tank base, I'll be showing it in its raw form once I've stuck all the bits, well, the majority of the heavy bits down on it, just to give it some context. So we'll have a look at that, see how far I've got on that. I still haven't started the Focke-Wulf build yet, because I've been too engrossed with this. But once this is to the stage where, as I say, I've made another video showing all the grains and stuff on, then I'll get the Focke-Wulf started. I've got a couple of batteries of Saxon 18mm guns to do as well. So you know, that'll all be on the go starting next week, or this week even. Next week, it's Monday, isn't it? So, right, enough waffling. Look after yourselves. Keep your heads down. Keep the brushes moving. Keep the glue stuck to your fingers. Keep snipping off the wrong parts. Yeah, the life of a Gav modeler. And we'll catch each other very soon on another video. Cheers.